Alright, y'all been seeing them a lot in the different platforms, so on Spotify, Twitch, and YouTube, but now they're coming in live on stage with you guys, coming in, giving your hands up, giving a shout out to the boys of Dark Crimson DZ.
Welcome to a special edition of Live Dark Crimson DZ.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, so today right here on this special episode of the DZ podcast right here, we're doing it right here at the Bishop's Arts Theater right now. And speaking of which, hey, let's bring it on to our guest on the show,
Albert Lewis Wash II.
And so, as always, man, you guys are here, you guys enjoyed the video, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for brand new, and make sure you follow us on here on Twitch, where we do our live streams, so there as well. And if y'all want to interact with us, say, ask any questions, whatever it got to be, and subscribe, hey, make sure you follow us on there as well. Yeah. And so, hey, what's going on with today?
How y'all doing, man? I'm nothing much now. I really do appreciate y'all coming out to the theater. The theater is more than open for you all. Honest to God. So that's me and Miss Teresa's invitation. Jonathan is a great friend of ours. Been acting together for so many years. But did Shakespeare together right on this stage, actually. So we've had some stories, we got some memories in this place. But other than that, I've been doing good. I've been blessed, can't complain, day's going well, been going back to the gym, just taking care of my health, bettering my health, so everything's been doing well for me. Hey, and I'm also, I'm getting married next year too.
Hey, congratulations!
Goodlow, and so she's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, moved down here. We've been engaged since May, but the wedding is next year, so it's been exciting. Wedding planning it's fun, but it's another job.
All right, man, congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
But like he said, for those of y'all that don't know, like I got my start with this company. Like my first ever show was when Tico was in the other library.
Yes, the library.
But this like stage means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I found my first girlfriend doing this show. You know, I got my first acting. You know, my feet wet. You know, I did a bunch of stuff on this stage. So this place means a lot to me. And I do want to sing at your wedding.
Oh God! Okay.
But one thing that people might not know.
I'll say if anything, I'll at least come up to at least start end off strong.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one thing y'all don't know is this man can sing. Oh, okay. When he sings, underwear automatically comes to your ankles. I don't know how, but he has a voice, and I didn't know you did because when I met you. You know, he handsome now. But when I met him, he was this short, like, fat, you know, chubby kid that loved wrestling. Mm-hmm. And we kind of like fell off because you were doing your thing. I was doing my acting thing in Plano.
Right.
And then that's when I had the Doku Talks podcast. And you were like, I can sing. And you know how it is when people say they can sing. Like, they're like, you know, it's all right, but not really. But he actually was able to like sing. Can you sing something for us real quick?
I got you. Yeah, let me think. Okay, I got one.
All right.
This is Scottsboro Boys Go Back Home. Scottsboro Boys the musical. Lying all alone, I'm thinking, staring at the stars. I wonder, since I've been away. I'm lonely when I'm gonna go back home. Walking through the world, things happen right before your eyes. Things happen, soon enough you're lost. And thinking when I'm gonna go back home. Oh me, oh my, time goes slow. Where's it gone to? maybe someday I'll get lucky. Someone's gonna say, alright, son, take the train and go back home. But I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
This is a singer.
See,
this is a singer.
this thing that every single time that we have, well, not all the time, but sometimes that we will have like a particular guest on the show, he always want to show out like, oh, it's a real singer, da, da, da. And then every single time he try to sing some, you know how that goes, that I have to show him up again.
You sing?
Yes, I sing some too.
So Bermudian.
Okay, so so I was gonna do my classic or something.
Yeah,
It's like easy to remember something off the rip. So you know. Monday I went outside your door. Tuesday I sing you this song. Wednesday I bring you a red, red rose. Take it to your favorite spot. 7 days a week, every hour of the month. You're the only one that my heart is coming from. Gotta find a way just to make you say. Gotta find a way just to let you know. I will try everything to make you come closer to me. Baby, till you believe it's not just a phase. How can I get it through that I'm the one you can't lose? I'll try 365 days, 365 ways to get to you.
So you know the weird thing is, I'm kind of starting to hear it now. Like I'm like, hold on, that actually sounded good.
I know.
Oh, okay, I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
All right, let's hear it.
You know, I'm a musical theater kid, so I'm gonna do the end of this song. And if the tears fall from my eyes, think of all the wounds they've made, just being vulnerable again. Please tell me what would I owe? Please tell me what would I get? Please tell me what would I do if I could feel? If I could feel. There. But I'm not a singer though. Yeah.
I'll send you my voice coach, bro.
Right,
I'll send you my
please
voice
do,
coach.
please do. So the first question that I had for you
Of
is,
course.
how was the process of you going from like actor, performer to producer, director? Because me personally, I went from like actor to like personal coach, and I found the personal coach part actually more rewarding than being on stage. So
Right.
would you say like you like one better than the other? You like on stage? How would you?
See, and let me know because I ramble on this topic. But I started out acting. We started out acting. Acting was our first love. That's what initially got us into theater. It wasn't until I actually went to college and I started to actually understand the business side of theater and actually the business side of any industry too. I wanted to look, because when you're in theater school, the main thing is film and Broadway.
Yeah.
When you're in theater, majority of people are going to go to Broadway, New York. So that was like everybody's end goal. They wanted to be this famous actor. That's it. Me personally, I wanted something bigger. Like I wanted something, and because I wanted something bigger, I always looked to my father and my mother were, and their two bosses who owned their company essentially. So when I was at Point Park, I started to look at who owns Broadway, like who owns these film companies. And when I actually looked at the owners and everything, it was real estate developers from Oklahoma, or it was more so like producers who were very, very well off for each other. Get off your phone, bro. Get off your phone, bro. Get off your phone. I'm here, bro. I'm here, bro. I'm just playing with the money. No, but no, when I was in college, that's when I started to look at Broadway, who owned Broadway. It was a lot of real estate developers, a lot of producers who were well off for each other. So I'm like, okay, because very rarely do actors own, or they are actors, or sometimes they'll wait till their 30s or 40s to then get in there, in producing role. And me personally, I didn't want to go that route. I didn't want to do the starving artist model. I didn't want to go to New York, be in a shoebox, audition, be a worker for people. And that's when my mother, I got to give props to her. She actually, and also my fiance too, who convinced me, because at first I wanted to be an actor. Like when I graduated, when I was in my senior year in college, I wanted to be an actor, go to New York or LA, fill out some things, because that was my first love. And then, I would get into, producing and things like that.
Yeah.
But then again, I had to think back on that question because COVID had happened. I went to school during COVID.
Yeah.
And so when 2020 was happening, I was a junior. And so I saw a lot of the seniors in New York City and LA, they just did not have any work. So a lot of people were moving back to their families' home. They were moving out of New York. They couldn't afford anything. And so I was like, I would hate to be in that position because at that point, you're just a worker. You're talent. And I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to be the boss. I wanted to be the one making decisions.
And see, that's what I like about you, because for so long, and I feel like I wish other people would teach that, because for so long, the model is go to New York, starve, work, live on ramen noodles in like a 4x4, and audition, you might get one, and then audition.
Right.
But you don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's not. It don't really sound like a solid plan. It just sounds like a test of futility, pretty much.
Yes.
Because it's like, say you go down to New York or so, and say you could get no work, you spend all that time, energy, starving, suffering, and all sorts of stuff or whatever. I'm looking like, my thing is, are you trying to be an actor? Or you trying to be a rapper? Because if you're trying to be, I'm just saying. Because I'm like, are you trying to be a rapper like that? Because the way you're going about right now sounds like something you could be going off of, But as far as like actor wise, so it's like I feel like you should start off at places that you are able to, like build your resume up. Because this reminds me of a friend of mine. So what I'm saying, she's a director. She started making home filmmaking, all sorts of stuff. She just now recently, shout outs to who I'm talking about. She just now recently just got her movie in Tubi now, and it's already hit the most popular list right now. And she is very tunnel vision in terms of her goals. But I keep telling her, I said, you have the potential to make it big, but you gotta build your resume up, because you can't sit here and be going up. You can't go up to like let's say for example, say if you try to go to Spike Lee or James Gunn and such one, their office, and tell them like get out, because you feel like because you got this and all sorts of stuff for there, you can start doing films to their level and such. I'm like, they gonna look at you like, who are you?
Right.
So it's like you gotta build your resume up. You gotta make films. Like do what you're passionate about. Sure enough, but it's like you gotta start off small first to build your way up to then do it.
Yeah.
If you get lucky and you manage to get up to that stardom and stuff real quick, then hey, more power to you.
Yeah, and that's all it is. Like what he was telling me, because I've trained some people, and he was like, it's time to call in some of those favors, because people say it gets hard work, and I'm not saying it's not hard work, but it's like 50% luck, 50% nepotism. And it's even harder now, because I don't know why for the life of me, but on Broadway, they like to hire stars to get people in. Like Cynthia Erivo in Jesus Christ Superstar. She has an amazing voice, and she's going to do great. She did do great, I saw it. But there's 10,000 men that are unknown that could do just as good. Like getting celebrities isn't.
We want new faces.
Yeah, you know, instead of seeing the same thing. Because I like, I'm not even gonna butcher her name, but I like Ava from Hades.
Yes.
You know, I love, who's that one guy that's in Cabaret right now, Billy Porter.
Oh, Billy.
I-
Yeah, you know he's not on there no more.
Yeah. But I love these actors, but I want to see them do other stuff.
Exactly.
You know, like who's the lady that did Gypsy, the black lady?
Audra McDonald.
Audrey McDonald. Yeah, like she was amazing in that role. And that's not an Audrey McDonald role, but because somebody took a chance on her, it's like the biggest thing going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I also want to add to that what you all saying. Actors and artists, they have to do things that they're uncomfortable with. You have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do in order for you to achieve that success. And like you were saying, you got to work your way up there, you know, in order for you to get what you want. And a lot of artists, they like to be comfortable. You know, they love to be comfortable. They don't like to challenge themselves. And so I saw a lot of that, you know, at Point Park, and that's the reason why I wanted to get in that producing role. I wanted to be behind the scenes, be that person to be like, no, let's do a new face. I'm tired of movie stars. You know, I'm tired. Yeah, and you know, and that's not to say, you know, movie stars generate money, because at the end of the day, you gotta generate some sort of money. You know, and so, but movie stars do generate some sort of traction when it comes to ticket sales. But
you're basically saying, don't look at this person's Instagram and say, oh, they got 3.5 billion followers, give them the role. Look at the person that has 2,000 followers, but is killing it in the audition.
Right, exactly. And then again, it all goes back to like what that, like who's behind that show, you know, what team's behind that show, what marketing team's behind that show, X, Y, and Z, you know, for us to actually pump out this show and a marketing plan so that it can get out to certain audience members.
And this wasn't a part of my question. This is just a thing that came to mind. When you were, have you seen Sinners?
I did. Yeah, I did see
Boy,
Sinners.
when you were singing, man, I thought I saw one of my ancestors.
Country boy. Preacher boy.
Yeah, I was looking like, Grandma, is that you in the audience? But would you ever just, you know, once you get established with the production directing, would you ever take a break from that and just try to head forward with singing?
Nah, I don't think I'll ever try to produce singing professionally or anything. If I do, it'll be for fun. You know, it's nothing. I don't want to just rely on performing to pay the bills. You know, I just, you know, if I'm doing performing, then it's for fun. It's because I want to do it. It's because, you know, that's my love. You know, but over here, this is how I feed my family, create generational wealth, you know, producing and real estate. Because real estate is another, it's starting to be a passion of mine. But producing, you know, that's where the real money is being made. Commercial producing at that.
Now, let me get this right. Because I know you said, you know, I asked you, I said, do you want to take over like your mom's theater? And you said, yes, but my dream is to also, correct me if I'm wrong, have my own theater with a black box and a regular theater and a production where people can just come and like, you know, do their thing, pay a fee and just do their thing.
Right.
With that being said, is that why you got into real estate, so you can see how the market is from the backside and the buyer side?
That, and also, again, I looked at how Broadway was owned, what Broadway is, and it's just real estate. That's what Broadway is. It's real estate. It's a bunch of buildings on a street, and they call it Broadway. And who owns those buildings? It's a lot of people who do not know theater. They ain't got nothing to do with theater, but they're just hiring a management company to actually manage that theater, and then they get in all the big bucks. You know, they're that other company. So that's essentially why I wanted to go that route. Now, you know, I'm not necessarily in the mindset of owning my own theater company like my mother, because Miss Teresa ain't, she not retiring anytime soon.
Nah.
So nah, Miss Teresa is
I
not
don't think
retiring.
she ever will.
Nah, she's not retiring anytime soon. So that seat will not be vacant at all. So I'm just like, okay, you got that, mama. I love that for you.
I think like even when she passed away, y'all gonna have a Ouija board. Okay, she want us to put this seat here. We gonna have Black Nativity here. Like she's still gonna be one of the
Right, she is. Yep, she is. Yep. So, but you know, but essentially to answer your question, that's why I got into. That's one of the reasons why I did get into real estate is because, you know, Broadway. I was looking at the ownership, and also I really did want to create generational wealth and financial freedom for myself and build a life that, you know, that other people don't necessarily see. You know, build the life that you deserve. You know.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Now my dad's in real estate and my mom's a beautician, and I told myself later down the line, I definitely want to pursue both of those just to do what my parents did.
Yeah.
You know, like they say, do what your dad did, you know. But with that being said, how does one, if somebody's interested in getting into real estate, how does one go about it? And this is a twofer, how is the buyer-seller market in real estate?
Perfect. So I will start with the second question, the buyer and seller market. So right now, the market did rise about 53% in Dallas, Texas, just because Dallas is booming right now. And that's because of property taxes here. A lot of people from California are coming into, and a lot of companies are really moving into Texas too, as well, like Tesla. Well, Tesla's been here. But the UC Wingstop is here now. They're building a new film company down in near Austin. So there's a lot of business coming here. As far as residential wise, it's coming through residential. However, it's kind of like a stale place because some people are overpricing a lot of their homes right now because everybody's seeing that they want to come to Dallas.
Yeah.
However, some people are like, do we really want to? Because recent years, people were like, this is cheap compared to certain places.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I just had a house on the market, you know, for about, I think it was like 400, I believe, or 350 to 400.
Yeah.
But it was getting no traction at all because it was overpriced. The home was renovated inside and everything like that. Like, it was cool. But, you know, economy right now, you know, things are kind of stale because they're kind of hesitant to see, you know, where this administration is going to go regarding Trump, how the HOA is going to play out, HUD is going to play out, and so on.
Yeah, and side question. I had no idea gentrification was actually a bad thing because I've never experienced it.
Okay, so if there's somebody in the audience who's sitting there with a phone call.
Hey, y'all gotta turn your phone off.
Yeah, I'm like, hey.
To answer the first question too, how does one person get into real estate? I would say look up to see what the best schools are first. I would say the best schools in Champions is, the best schools, and I already said it, the best school in Texas is Champions.
That's how
School of
good it
Real
is.
Estate. Right.
Yeah.
No, Champions is what makes them unique is they have a mock test. And you can take that mock test how many ever time. You got to pay for it, obviously, but you can take that mock test however many times you can. And they always say, do not go unless you make an 80 or above. You know, even if you make a C or a B, because that's still considered passing on a real estate exam. But even if you make a C or D, still just keep taking that test. And that's what I did. I kept just taking the test, kept taking the test. And I ended up passing the real estate exam. And it took me 3 times to actually pass it. The first time, I was 7 points away. Second time, I was 1 point away from passing. Last time, I ended up passing it. But for anybody who does want to get into it, look up the schools and also check the fees too. Most people don't know, being in real estate is expensive. So there's some brokerages where you have to pay certain fees. There's other brokerages where you don't. You have to pay a fee to actually have your license up too. You got to pay another fee to actually activate, you know, so it's a lot of things. And then for open houses, you have to get a super e-box key, you know, in order for you, and that's a monthly bill. So people, like, there's a lot of there's a lot of money being spent, you know, when you're a real estate agent. But I would say schools, look at what the best school is. I say Champions. That's the top one. Schools, and get yourself ready for the type of fees that you'll be getting ready to pay as well. And interview your brokers. They're not interviewing. Yeah, they are not interviewing you.
Yeah.
You interview your brokers, please.
Hey, so hey, he putting y'all on free game right now, so y'all can get some money up for free. And also for those people for the real estate right now, y'all in the bank right now. All right,
So back to gentrification, because like I said, I never experienced it, but I was talking to this one girl, and she was saying how she's moved 3 times. You know, the only thing I knew about gentrification was it was annoying that these white people were moving into our neighborhood. But I didn't know it was like these white people were moving into our neighborhood, they were raising the prices, so we got to leave. What's your opinion on gentrification?
There's pros and cons to it. There are pros and cons to it. The con is, you know, for example, a lot of it had, like in Bishop Arts, there was a lot, like you see a lot of these apartment buildings that are happening, that are being built around. It's good, you know, it's good for Bishop Arts, but what about those families that were there before? Yes, those, whenever that does happen, whoever's trying to build, they will pay that family, obviously, to move. But you don't know what type of financial situation they're in, the emotional connection that they have to these homes, what's it gonna look like, you know, moving out. So, you know, there's pros and cons to it. The pro is that it can add a lot of, it can add, like, for example, yeah, it can make the neighborhood better because, you know, there's some things around Bishop Arts that aren't really safe. You know, there are parts of Bishop Arts that aren't safe. And so, you know, when you put certain things within certain communities, it's like you're getting out all of the extra, you know, stragglers, as I would say. But we can't ignore the cons either because there was a lot of families that were there, a lot of business owners that were there. A lot of business owners have suffered because of the gentrification, specifically in Bishop Arts, that have happened. You know, it brings money, yes, but then you are also hurting a lot of your local, you know, business owners, those, you know, that actually are the treasure and the heart of the communities.
Yeah, I feel like there should be something put in place for the OGs, like gentrify as much as you want. The people that have been there for over 100 years, that are like you said, the anchors, they should have something special, like maybe keep their prices the same or something like that. But all right, it's time for the special audience member segment. I told y'all if y'all have any questions, text them into my phone and I'll let you know. So
Let's see what we got.
the first question is, and oh, this is a good one. How was it growing up with 2 powerhouse family members?
It was good. It was really, really good. I've learned a lot from them. Challenges for sure. But as far as I'm gonna start with my father. My father, like both of my mother and dad, like they're dear to my heart. My father, he's taught me how to be. They both taught me how to be grounded. Because it's crazy because I can't really say which one has taught me the other, because both of them have taught me grounding. Like they have taught me to ground myself, to truthfully and honestly ground myself within like certain situations, or like if I have conflict or anything like that, take the bull by the horns and just go for it. My mother is fearless. Like that woman is fearless. And so she's taught that, she's, you know, put that within me. Because one, I was
run to what scares you.
Exactly. And then when you look at my mom and dad too, they are very, like, they're bosses. But when people look at me, when people first met me, I was a very soft person. Like, I wasn't necessarily the one to be mean or, you know, rude or anything. And not to say my mom and dad are mean or rude. They're just very stern. They know what they want.
They're a boss.
Yes,
like
exactly. That does come with it. And so sometimes people don't understand that. And I had to come to terms with that. I had to come to terms. It's not about you being mean, Albert. It's not about you not being nice. It's about getting shit done. shit needs to get done when you are the owners
Yeah.
of businesses. And so you gotta, and so I don't want to say talk to people crazy, but you gotta light some fire underneath people's asses.
Yeah,
and
like-
that's what I have learned with my mother and father. That's the biggest thing that I've learned with them.
Yeah.
Is just, you know, lighting some fire underneath people's asses, because old Albert was very soft.
Yeah.
You know, he was very
And there's a balance, because I had a beautiful teacher.
Not when you're working with artists. Not when you're working with artists.
But see, when you're working with artists, you actually can be crazy, because we understand.
Mhm.
You know, like say for instance, shout out to Gail Pronauer. She's retired, best theater teacher in the world. Class didn't start until she cursed somebody out.
Mm.
You know, like,
Dang.
and she didn't care who you were. Like if you were talking, she knew how to like balance it out. Like
Right.
say for instance, I had left my USB at home. And she was like, "Why the fuck do I give a fuck more than you give a fuck? Like you know you in class, you know you're supposed to bring the motherfucker next time." And then I was like, "Well, can you send me a reminder? Who do I look like, yo, bitch?" Okay, now let's go on to class. You know, she took time out to like get you the fuck together, because you're not on your shit.
I know, but I like how
But
she had to curse you out, so then they be like, all right, class, let's get started with page 3.
Yeah, but you never want to like stay in that space. Because when you stay in it, that's when it becomes toxic and a problem. But she's like, just get it together. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's just like, come on, like you bipolar as hell, though.
Yeah, and the fuck we are. And the fucked up part is, I had the USB in my pocket. I got it in my whole pocket the whole time. But I do understand where you're coming from. Sometimes you do have to like say, hey, we gotta, you know, whatever I have to do, because that's what directors come to terms with. Whatever I gotta do. If I gotta get on this stage and do 50 push-ups, if that's gonna help you memorize your lines, I'm gonna get on this stage and do 50 push-ups, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also I do appreciate them for, and it was my parents and also my fiance too. I can't discredit my fiance. She has instilled this a lot in me, but just owning your own. The simple fact of just owning your own. That's what my mother did. That's what my father did, and they're both bosses. They're not workers. They don't have to worry about, you know, anybody else. Like they're in control of their narrative. And so that's the biggest thing that I've learned.
And did they
from my
ever
mother
have
and
a
father.
like dynamic trouble? Because you know when you have two alphas in a house, sometimes it can get a little chaotic. Did they ever have a problem with leaving it at the workplace?
I mean, yeah. I mean, every family has its, you know, every family is gonna have its issues in there. But you know, yeah, I've had some. There were some instances within, you know, where I was like, all right, mom and dad, let's turn it off. You know, we're at the dinner table. They talking about the jazz show, and it's just like, you come on, let's have another conference. But they did have a healthy balance. You know, they did have a healthy balance growing up. It was just like that. But it was hard for them because that's their life. That's both of their babies. You know, before my brother and I were born, that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
So you know, I had a great understanding.
Yeah.
Growing up.
And we got a last question. We got room for
Oh yeah.
one more.
Let's see what we got.
Let's see. Give us one more thing that you learned along the way from your journey of being an artist to a producer.
I think I low-key already said it, but whatever industry you're in, whether it's acting, whether it's dancing, whether it's acting, dancing, visual art, hell, culinary art, cosmetology, anything. Learn the business. Just learn the business side of it. Learn the business of your industry, because there's going to be a point where you want to be in control of your destiny. Now, if you want to be a worker, cool. That's cool. But if you want to elevate, if you want to, have the life that you deserve, have the life that your normal person won't be able to get. You got to do things that you aren't necessarily comfortable with. Paperwork. That's one thing artists do not like is paperwork. Just in contracts. Really read those contracts. Really read those contracts, because even, because these business, and this is another thing, these business people, they know how to get over on an artist. These producers know how to get over an artist. These people who own record label companies, they know how to get over an artist, because they're going to put that in their contract, and they know this artist is not going to read this entire document of contract that they just sent in DocuSign that's 10 pages long. Now they got to maybe hire a lawyer to actually, look through it and see what this actually entails. And so
my thing when it comes to that though is that are the people that are sitting trying to get signed, so they Dragon Ball fans? Hey, to all my Dragon Ball fans, hey, I'm with you guys too, but hey, sometimes we do got, it's that stereotype do be kicking in, so we like we don't want to read nothing or so. We barely want to read the content, you know what I'm saying?
So just really, but just know what that verbiage is, what these producers, these business terms mean, because these business people, they really don't expect us artists to be on the same level or the same wavelength as them, really honest. Like they think they can get over on us. They be like, oh, we thought, no, it was in the contract. Nah, we got to start doing better as artists. We really do have to start, especially in the music industry. That's a whole different topic, especially in the music industry.
Hold on. What is it? Hold on. What you want?
What she say?
Medication. What? Oh, so I saw somebody in the audience there. She seemed really like I thought she had to pee. I was about to say, girl, go. But she, if you didn't hear her in the camera, she said, give us some motivation. So I guess how Kai Cenat, whenever he has a guest, he gives them time to just speak life into the camera, give them motivation. I thought she said medication. I said, you got some Adderall after the show. But give them some motivation.
Okay, all right. Oh, motivation. Yeah, the background piano music. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself mentally. Take care of yourself physically. And live every day like there's no tomorrow, because we have to thank God every day, because these days aren't promised to us. They really aren't. So take care of your body, take care of your mental health. Therapy is the key. Please go to therapy, because do not hold it in. No silent battles. No silent battles all 2025. And for my artists, anybody who's trying to be an entrepreneur, anybody who wants to go into the business, take the bull by the horns, read, learn anything that you can. You are always a student in this game. Never act as if you know everything, because you don't. I don't know everything yet. I do not. I'm still a student in this game. So please be a student in this game. Learn, do the things that you've always ran away from. So that way you can be able to teach that your kids' kids and your kids' kids', So set that up. Make sure that, generational wealth is and financial freedom is there. What did you leave? What legacy did you leave? What seed did you put? I'm gonna leave off with that.
All right. Well, I think this has been a very special episode of Dark Crimson. Let's call it Dark Crimson Live.
Okay.
Let's call it Dark Crimson Live.
Dark Crimson Live, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. This right here, like I said before, man, this right here been really good, man. This has been a really good episode right here. Thank you very much for having us here, man. And thank you very much for our live studio audience right here. And also look those who's watching us on the channel so as well, man. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for brand new ones. Just want to, hey, everybody here, make sure you gotta follow us on Dark Crimson DZ. You know what I'm saying? Just like how it is Rainbow Theater, so if they're just spaced out like that, you already know how it is. And also make sure you follow us on our social medias as well. Though you'll see it there on the way out. You know.
But anyways, it's been your boys,
Dark.
Crimson,
Z.
Z
Yeah.
Live.